Hello, YouTube. Welcome in, welcome in. How's it going? We are going to be hanging out with some Pancreas No Work. That's a great name. And we are going to learn about Ciaphas Cain, the Emperor's silliest clown, fighting his funniest battles. I have no idea what to expect from this. All I know is it's a Warhammer 40k thing, and even though I was supposed to get to the Primarch stuff, I saw this one suggested to me, and I was like, yeah, no, we're watching the funny goober guy. Okay? So yeah, let's get to watching.
Warhammer 40k, as you all know, is full of people that love nothing more than make sure their way of thinking is dominant in the galaxy, and will throw themselves into the fray over and over and over again to ensure this comes to pass. The Black Templars, Crafter Bealtan, pretty much all of Chaos, these are the ones that come first to me in my mind, but they're hardly the only maniacal, murderous nutjobs obsessed with fighting everything until it's all dead. And of
Orcs, Tyranids, Eldar. Actually, the Eldar not so much, because they just want to survive and not die. So if they keep fighting until everything's dead, then chances are good some of them might die, and that doesn't work well for them. So probably not the Eldar. But yeah, pretty much the Orcs. I don't know if they actually want to kill things, because I don't think they have a full concept of death, because they just have like a rebirth cycle, right? So it's pretty much just the Imperium of Man. Huh. Oh, wait, Necrons. Yep, there we go.
Of course, even if by the standards of this setting some people in it are a bit more level-headed, there's not really many people that'll choose to back down from a fight. And then we have Ciaphas Cain.
Look at this smug-ass son of a bitch. Look at him. He's so smug. That is a face. Oh my god, look at that. Okay, I'm excited. This artwork is telling me a lot.
Commissar Ciaphas Cain, hero of the Imperium, one of the best and most intelligent warriors it has at its disposal, and a massive, massive coward, fighting to ensure...
Why don't we just zoom in on his crotch? Wait, what?
Warriors it has at its disposal, and a massive, massive coward, fighting to ensure...
Oh, dick. A massive, massive dick. Gotcha. Okay, I get it.
Mankind's dominance is about the last thing on his mind at any given moment. I am no doubt sure that you know this. He's one of the more popular characters in the 40k setting by virtue of just how different he is from anything else in it. Where most characters will either rapidly throw themselves into a fight or throw themselves into a fight but complain about how grim and dark it is the whole time, Ciaphas Cain is going to run for the hills the moment he sees he has a chance to do so, and I can't blame him in the slightest for it. So to begin the new year, a fun video for everyone. Yay! Instead of finding some hidden bit of lore or analyzing the pros and cons of an army, I'm going to talk about the protagonist of my second favorite series of books right behind Godric and Felix. Get ready to learn about how you can be a massive coward, a selfish jerk, and the greatest hero possible all at the same time.
Hell yeah! I love a four-dimensional character, somebody that has so much going for him and making just we got to Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, just a character that's able to just have so much personality, be really effective at his job, and just be so contradictory to what his job actually is. It's so good. Okay, I'm excited. Let's get through the ad, and then we'll get straight into the video. Yeah.
And before I begin to ramble on, you should note that this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Millions of people around the world already play it, and please, allow me to explain why you should join the ranks. To show you some of Raid's massive supply of heroes and champions to recruit, let's take a look at one of their most recent additions to the game, the Sylvan Watchers. Nature, as you no doubt know, is natural, and therefore is everywhere by...
Really? I never would have guessed. I thought that would have been civilization.
By default, where some people choose to go through all the work of building grand cities, monuments, and more to solidify their holdings, the Sylvan Watchers said, nah, that sounds like a lot of work, and chose to live in big trees instead. Of course, this is still a fantasy.
Honestly, fair.
Setting, so the jungle of Mistwood they live in isn't exactly a place where non-Sylvans can just waltz into all willy-nilly. No, what's most likely to happen is that you're either going to be devoured by the mythical beasts within, or the Silvers are going to turn you into fertilizer for their jungle homes. I have to admit, they're at least environmentally friendly with their murder, and they do have a city for outsiders known as Neressa, so if you just can't help yourself, there's a place for you in Sylvan society. And they've got damn fine champions in their ranks. As usual, I will judge them based entirely off of aesthetic preferences, because the drip or drown, and brother, I'm floating. I quite like Pathfinder Kate, because she reminds me of Vermintide. I'm also a big fan of Duadan the Runic because I like big monsters that smash things real goodly and...
Valid. Very valid. So far, I'm very much liking this Pancreas fella. You got some good some good descriptors.
Is this thing a he? Whatever it is, it certainly qualifies. Of course, there's more to talk about with Raid this month. There's still time for you to get in on the 12 Days of Raid Christmas event, going on until January 10th once you download the game.
It's a little late. We're a little past January.
You can go to 12daysofraid.plarium.com and paste your in-game player code there. Link is, of course, in the description. Once you do, you can go on some very fun festive adventures, including a new minigame to unlock all sorts of goodies, which includes holiday-themed champions and even up to $1,000 in Amazon gift cards. Now that's a spicy reward. It's available to all new players.
That would have been great to get in on. Too bad we're a few months late, like a whole 7.
And by clicking on the link, already existing players can also get a festive little gift by using a special holiday promo code you can find after clicking the link. And once again, Ronda Rousey, the actual real-life fighter, is still available to unlock for all players, just by logging in 7 times between now and February 20th. And if you use the promo code RAIDRONDA, you get a 3-day 100% XP boost, 500k silver, and
Raid put an actual MMA fighter into their game? That's kind of funny.
5 full energy refills to make sure she can beat the ever-loving shit out of whatever you throw her at. If you still aren't convinced, I've got one more offer for you. After using my network of crack spies and operatives, I've secured a deal for you all. Using my link in the description or the QR code on screen right now, staring you down like the Eye of Sauron, you can get $35 worth of goodies. The Epic Chanting Jotun, 100k silver, 50 gems, and 2 epic skill tomes to boost you even higher in Raid. All of this will be waiting for you in the inbox. That's the treasure chest with the finger pointing to it on screen. Rewards are available for 30 days and for new players only, so download Raid now, use my link in the description to get some goodies, and I'll see you there.
Sorry. I'm not tired. My brain is just a little cooked. But fun fact, I've never played Raid Shadow Legends. Don't know anything about it really. I think I might have played like 2 minutes, but those games have such a in-depth tutorial that they're trying to front load literally every piece of information on you, and you can't actually explore the UI and figure things out yourself. It's just not fun to deal with, I found. And I just kind of nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. But hey, at least it's popular enough, right? Whew. Oh boy. Yeah, EP Okay, let's go. Ciaphas Cain. Let's learn about him.
Now then, time for the funny man with the funny hat to be a funny guy.
Yeah.
To be clear, this entire video is going to be littered with spoilers. So if you would rather not have them randomly revealed to you throughout it, then perhaps this isn't the video for you.
This is literally my job. Let's go.
I will for the most part try to keep them to a minimum, but this video is mostly just to talk about the fun times Cain had, and it's hard to do that without spoiling something. So if you want to be kept in the dark, maybe it's best to click away now. We all clear on that? Everyone good to go?
Yeah.
Splendid. Ciaphas Cain started his life out on a hive world. I can't tell you which hive world because no one knows and he never brought it up himself. And if the Inquisition can't find out where he's from, I'm not going to bother trying to do it myself. Beyond that, something you'll come to find out is that he's perhaps the ultimate unreliable narrator, and a pretty good hunk of what he says is no doubt complete and utter crap. That being said, at least according to himself...
So it's like trying to understand the stories of an orc. Gotcha.
His parents were killed on the line of duty serving in the Imperial Guard, and thus he was shunted off to the commissariat to learn how to be one of those gun-toting, team-killing monuments of human compassion. Apparently, the guy in charge of teaching Cain didn't quite manage to get it into his head that commissars are supposed to be assholes. Because by all accounts, Cain is a decent person, if for no other reason than self-interest. Having made it through his training...
I have no idea what the sport actually is. It's called scrumball. And I'm just assuming, GW, being British, gave rugby a funny name. Oh, Games Workshop, being British, gave rugby a funny name. Okay, you know what, that makes sense. Look, a good deed done for selfish reasons is still a good deed, right? You can donate to charity just for the tax break. Congratulations, you still donated to charity. You still benefited a charity. You can still help an old lady across the street and then be pleasantly happy when she gives you a candy as thanks. That sort of thing. There's no reason you can't take a bit of a selfish look at doing something good. Just don't be a prick about it. Don't help the old lady across the street and then hold your money out, clearing your throat, expecting her to give you a tip. She might just give you a mint.
With resoundingly mediocre scores in everything but sports and combat training, which as an aside, why the hell are commissars learning how to play rugby as part of their training, he began his career attached...
I mean, football, rugby, a lot of sports, they're basically a battlefield if you think about it. Like, you use a lot of tactics, you have to make plays and try and predict what your opponents are going to do based on what they've been doing throughout the game so far, and try to counter them with different plays and everything like that. It's literally a battlefield with less stakes.
The Valhallan 12th Field Artillery Regiment. The entire reason he chose to do this is because as an artillery regiment, they were the people least likely to have to actually fight anything. To paraphrase the man himself, all you really need to do is sit back and lob shells at someone several miles away. Of course, the second thing you need to know about Cain is that he is perhaps the unluckiest man in the entire 40k galaxy.
That's impressive. That is very impressive.
Surpassed maybe only by the Lamenter Space Marine chapter. When deployed to face the Tyranids in his first
The Lamenter Space Marine chapter? Somebody in the comments tell me about that. I don't know what they're about.
major engagement, Cain saw that things were getting just a little bit dicey and casually decided that it was now or never. So he commandeered a vehicle to commit just a slight bit of desertion. Unfortunately for Cain, which is a phrase that applies very frequently to his life, he ran into an unnoticed flanking swarm of Tyranids and immediately turned the hell back around. He radioed in for anyone, to start firing artillery guns behind him, and when he got back to base, it was believed that instead of running for his life, he had heroically gone on a scouting mission and baited a Tyranid force into chasing him right into a killing zone.
Bro literally ran away, only for it to backfire brutally on him, and he just zipped right back, tail between his legs, like, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And they called him a hero for it. Oh my god, that's brilliant. This is like something you would see in an anime or a movie or something like that. Just person just in the wrong place at the right time or the wrong time, and it just going mildly well. Sounds like he actually has some of the best luck.
He even saved the life of Jurgen, who was soon to be his commissarial aide / paperwork bitch for the rest of his career. Not wanting to admit that he just tried to run for his life, since that probably would have gotten him shot, Cain humbly accepted the praise that was being heaped upon him. What stands out most to me is that the guy in charge of the regiment, Colonel
I decided he looks like this. Live with it.
Mostru, if I'm remembering that correctly, never fully believed Cain. Indeed, for the rest of his life, he was the only one who ever had any doubts about Cain's heroic reputation. Aside from Amberly Vale, but she read his memoirs, so that's kind of cheating. From there, Cain would go on to form a bond with a few people in the regiment, including an artillery gunner who was one of the only people to ever call him by his first name, or rather, he just kept calling him Kai. This pissed Cain off, but either the guy was completely oblivious to it, or he just found it funny to annoy Cain. From there, he would soon find out that while going along with him being a hero meant he wouldn't be killed for dereliction of duty, his reputation meant that he was expected to be a lot more of a frontline combatant than he had ever wanted to be. Feeling pressure to keep accepting these tasks for fear of being found out and executed, his reputation kept growing and growing and growing, which meant that he was given even more dangerous tasks and responsibilities over time, which meant his reputation would grow more and more.
Oh, okay, so he's literally got this huge amount of guilt on him from having, ran away, come back, been called a hero because him doing that managed to lure in a Tyranid swarm and allow them to take it out. And ever since, he's constantly on edge, thinking like, if I say no at any point, they will kill me. If I say no at any point, they will kill me. I have seen other people mess up even less, and they got shot straight in the head. Or put directly in the front line with a gun that doesn't work half the time and fires miniature suns. I don't want any of that to happen to me. I'm just going to keep on doing what they tell me to, and oh god, you guys are just giving me horrible, horrible missions. I don't like this, but if I say no at any point, they're just going to kill me, so I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. I might as well take the chance. And he's just getting more and more famous as he goes. Oh my god. I'm actually really liking seeing this side of the Empire. Because, like, whenever you do these deep dives into Warhammer 40k, right? You will constantly, like, just feel a little off about it because the entire Empire just feels so doom and gloom. You wake up in the morning and there's a high chance you're going to be shoved into a toaster because, you stole a loaf of bread. Or you're going to get drafted, thrown on the front line, and literally used as basically a bridge for I don't know, one of these walkers or something like that to get to the battlefield quicker. Your life expectancy is so abysmal in this universe. So to see an actual like ray of comedy or something a little different from that's not just grim, dark, and terrible at all times, it's kind of refreshing. It's kind of nice.
He remarks on this several times, so to the series' credit, it never really gets annoying or too self-pitying. Plus, it's just really funny watching him dig himself further in the hole he created for himself. Eventually, he would find himself given a job to the Commissariat Command. Now, you might think he'd be ecstatic about this, and at first he was. But his reputation meant that whenever a commissar was needed for a dangerous job, the first person people thought to ask was good old Ciaphas Cain.
Yay!
This list of crap he was put through includes, but is not limited to, several campaigns against the craft world Eldar, cleansing a space Hulk that some Astartes and tech priests had a massive cyber boner over, and a trip that led to him being the only survivor after a tomb world started reawakening during an expedition to it. Of note is that this little adventure of his is the one that left him most scarred out of anything he ever did. And for reference, he has at least on one occasion been kidnapped by Eldar who were likely of the dark variety. Even
Holy shit! How is this guy alive? Period. Let's go through those again. Let's go through those again really quick. Okay.
This list of crap he was put through includes, but is not limited to, several campaigns against the craft world Eldar.
That sounds awful, considering they're all ancient beings with extremely powerful technology. And we should also remind everybody here, this guy's a dude. He's a human. He's not a space marine. He's a dude. He's got a singular heart, only 2 lungs. He doesn't have incredible muscle increasement surgery. He doesn't have the ability to eat something and gain its memories. He's just a guy. He's just a guy with a gun and a sword.
Cleansing a space Hulk that some Astartes and tech priests had a massive cyber boner over, and a trip
that sounds awful. A lot of those words kind of flew over my head, but honestly, sounds terrible. This one, though,
that led to him being the only survivor after a tomb world started reawakening during an expedition.
So, you see all these fellas over here? Yeah, every single one of those guns can turn you into basically a goo puddle, like you were playing Fallout and you got a crit with a plasma gun. Horrible shit. And all these guys are also soulless, emotionless, ever-living machines. With science that can basically replicate warp magic without needing to deal with the warp. So, like, yeah, he was the sole survivor, but he survived.
To it. Of note is that this little adventure of his is the one that left him most scarred out of anything he ever did. And for reference, he has at least on one occasion been kidnapped by Eldar who were likely of the dark variety.
And that one, how did he not get turned into a sofa? Or be, maimed or horribly tortured for the rest of his entire life? Holy crap, this man's been through hell and back multiple times. Jeez, no.
He even lost 2 of his fingers. I mentioned this little story partly because it shows how badass he is, that he got lost inside a tomb complex that was able to escape, and partly because it shows that chaos isn't the scariest thing in the galaxy by a wide margin. Because if there was anyone familiar with being afraid, it was Cain, so he undoubtedly knew who was truly scary. To those of you who disagree with my assessment, please lick my taint. After this...
No, I'm with you here, buddy. That sounds horrifying. If you put yourself in the shoes of like a normal person in this universe, literally take you yourself as you are right fucking now, and drop your ass in the middle of the 40k universe. They then give you a commander hat, a gun, and a sword, and say you are now leading an army. How much are you going to be wishing you had brown pants at that moment? That sounds awful.
Sort of thing happened enough times, he begged to be given back to a regiment to work with, because apparently serving with active combatants is less dangerous in this setting than filing paperwork. Though to be fair, Jurgen is the one who did most of the paperwork. He was given command of the combined remains of the Valhallan 301st and 296th regiments, and they fucking hated each other. The only reason they were combined was because Tyranids had eaten the rest of the lot, and reinforcements wouldn't be sufficient enough to bring him back to full strength. One was all female, the other was all male. His first job as the regimental commissar was to figure out how to make them get along in time to prevent them from all killing each other, because at least a few of them had decided to do just that. To do this, he disciplined those who were the worst offenders, though not in the traditional way of bolt gun to the face. Things like the treen duty for the next year, or something like that. After this, he renamed the regiment the Valhallan 597th, an absolutely ingenious move he came up with by adding their numbers together. It fostered unity between the two once separate groups while honoring the fact they were once two different regiments. He kept himself in their good graces further by coming up with a tradition among the regiment of actually rewarding good behavior and things beyond suicidal bayonet charges, as well as improving morale by...
Honestly, that's really smart. Look, I fully understand the idea in the Warhammer 40k. You attract a lot more flies with shit than you do with honey or vinegar, right? But also you do like keep your units intact, morale high, and people wanting to do better jobs when you reward good work. And when you're rewarding good work and not just disciplining the fuck-ups, people are more willing to, try and go for the good works than they are going to be worrying about not fucking up. Because when you're worried about not fucking up, guess what you're going to do? You're going to fuck up. But if you're striving for success, you're always going to want to be a little better. You're always going to be wanting to do a little bit better every single time. So, honestly, I really appreciate hearing that he's did this sort of thing. That's pretty cool.
By way of speeches, camaraderie, and other feel-good methods instead of blowing someone's head off because they suggested things were anything less than 100% perfect. Funnily enough for Cain, he brought the two regiments together so well that he went from having to discipline people for things like murdering their fellow soldiers, to disciplining the troops for things like lovers' quarrels and getting each other pregnant in an active war zone.
God damn it! Guys! Later! We're in the middle of a war. Why are you guys doing that now? God damn it!
Forward, he would spend the most of his career with this newly formed regiment, actually forming a close relationship with the two leading officers of it. I cannot understate the importance of this, because commissars are almost always considered to be the biggest asshole in the army by the rest of it. The only other one I can think of off the top of my head who wasn't disliked if not outright hated by his troops was Gaunt, and to say his circumstances were exceptional would be underselling it. Instead, Cain was undoubtedly...
I don't know what he did.
The single most loved and appreciated member of the regiment. Soldiers would never flinch in fear when he walked by and would even salute him. This isn't actually required of them, as commissars actually lie outside the chain of command of the guard, but they valued Cain so much they happily considered him their superior. The officers in charge of the Valhallan 597th, Regina Castine and Rupert Brocklaw, would even regularly heed his advice, so high was their opinion of him. Again, this is not something they are in any way required to do, as a commissar's only official duties boil down to making sure there's no heresy going on and making sure the troops are fighting to the best of their ability, usually by shooting anyone who looks even remotely afraid. Instead,
I really wish I weren't here right now. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Ciaphas Cain knows all too well what it's like to not want to be there because you're scared to shit. I mean, it's almost kind of laughable to think anybody wouldn't be scared to shit of being there. And if you just, make them scared to even admit that, there's actually probably an even higher chance that they're just going to run on it. Right? It's like, I'm about to die in probably one of the most gruesome possible ways. I have two choices here. I can face that death head on for the Emperor, which, noble, good. Or I can take my chances, run away, try to get to a little off-world and try and get some sort of, amnesty there, but I'll probably be shot in the back of the head. Either way, I have a very high chance of dying. Like, a 1% chance of success. If I succeed here, I'm just going to be sent to go do it again. If I succeed in the other one, I'll probably survive for a good while until they decide to exterminate us, the entire planet, for harboring a deserter. Honestly, I'll take my chances.
Cain treated all the soldiers fairly as people, not giving them all the same punishment of bolt gun to the brain for whatever they did. He never outright disregarded the advice of fellow soldiers, even if internally he was calling them idiots the entire time, instead reasoning with them and at least giving the appearance of valuing their input. He would internally cuss people out all the time, but he kept it to himself, which is the main thing to do when keeping appearances up. As a related aside, I recommend this strategy highly, both when dealing with your parents and your significant other. To avoid too many spoilers, I won't.
What do you mean they got pregnant again? Holy shit, I left them alone for fucking 3 minutes. 3 minutes! Holy crap, one pump jump over here. God damn.
Be summarizing the plot of the books beyond what I've given, aside from telling you some cool stories at the end of the video. Instead, let's talk about Cain himself. If you were wondering if Cain treated everyone well because he was just that good of a guy, the actual truth of the matter is rather more complicated. As far as most people saw, this was exactly the case. He genuinely cared for those under his purview in a way that few officers in the guard did, let alone other commissars. He would throw himself into the fray alongside his soldiers without hesitation, and would never be seen far from the action once a fight started. In fact, one general of the Imperial Guard was serving in the Valhalla in 597th at the same time Cain was attached to it as a lower-ranking officer. And even when she rose to become a general in the Imperial Guard because of how brilliant a commander she was, the first question she would always ask herself in a difficult situation was, what would Commissar Cain do? As you might expect, this view of him is inaccurate. In that case, what Commissar Cain would usually do is run away like hell. The books are written as if they were his memoirs, edited by Inquisitor Amberly Vale. And reading them and taking them at face value, you would call Cain a complete coward. Someone who by all rights should have been shot the moment he put on his commissarial cap. He would only ever enter combat because not dealing with the problem would only make it worse later on. When given the choice to set out a fight and doing so wouldn't eventually lead to his death by inaction, he would take that choice every time. We just rarely see those moments in books because no one wants to read 200 pages of Cain sipping on Tana tea and reading casualty reports while Jurgen watches porn in the corner. No, I'm not making that up, he actually does that. If Cain thought shoving you into the path of a raging carnifex would save his life and no one would find out about it later, he'd do it in a heartbeat. Or would he? Funny thing about that unreliable.
Yeah, I killed a bunch of people, but, like, war bad, and maybe I lied. Ha 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 ha, wow. Outstandingly mid at best campaign, Battlefield 1. Wait, what?
Narrator business is that when he says he was just acting to save his own skin, there's decent odds that he's full of shit. While his initial attempted desertion was certainly motivated by nothing more than a desire to not be eaten alive, everything after that is a lot more debatable. If you take his word for it, he's never done anything not motivated by selfishness. And yet as you read the books, you will find that there are many times where it seems like he acted more because of altruism and heroism. That while his public image of being a witty, selfless hero is at least partially built up intentionally by himself, it's also partially true to who he actually is. Imposter syndrome, aside from being something I can no longer hear without associating it with Among Us, is something that's damn near synonymous with Cain. It's a good time to note that his memoirs are written many decades after the events actually happened. Both due to who he is and because of the fact that his reputation was ultimately founded on bullshit, it's pretty likely that a good portion of the time Cain says he acted on selfishness is really just him not giving himself enough credit. Amberly.
Honestly, that is an extremely common trope among these types of characters, and there's lots of people who view themselves this way as well. A lot of people will view themselves as, I am not worthy of my position. I am not worthy of the admiration I've been given. I am not worthy of any of the good that I have been done. So I must have done it in a selfish way, and I'd probably do it in a selfish way again every time, because I am a terrible person. Doesn't matter if I've done good, I'm a terrible person. And that is just what a lot of people would think. I can't tell you how many times I've had a friend tell me that about something good that they've done, and while talking to them, they told me, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I got paid for it, or I wouldn't have done it unless X, Y, or Z happened, or something along those lines. Like, hell, perfect example. A few months ago, I was part of a Minecraft Let's Play group where we raised money for War Child, which was a charity in order to, help children who are being affected by war. I raised, I think, the most out of the entire, crew of people, and there were like 30 of us that were raising money. I raised the most. I will never sit there and tell you that I did anything good. All I did was I just sat there and I played funny game and had a bunch of people, donate because I had a very stupid redeem that you could do. And people somehow managed to get in their head that, oh, if we do this big thing, we'll have some entertainment for a little while. And people just kept freaking doing it. And I don't usually seek out doing charity work. I of the mindset that I can't do charity work until I am taking care of myself. I'm not currently taking care of myself. And my family hasn't been taken care of, so I can't take time away in order to raise charity money right now. Maybe at some point in the future I'll, pursue charity work, but unless I'm approached by somebody else asking me, there's no way I'm going to fucking do that. I'm a little bit too greedy for that. And I say greedy. It's not greed. It's survival right now. Right? So, and it's the same thing for Ciaphas, right? He thinks that he's a coward and he is selfish. But every action that he has done and everything everybody else sees about him will say, you're not a coward. You might not be the bravest person, but you are a hero. So, next time you try to put yourself down, ask yourself what the people around you might think. Mm-hmm.
Vale, his inquisitor friend with many benefits, even says as much herself in the annotation she writes in his memoirs. For instance, many times in the series, Cain will be fighting alongside the Guard or the Planetary Defense Force, and will comment on how they seem to be fighting especially hard compared to what he would expect, or how their morale was a lot higher than you'd think it'd be in a particular situation. As Amberly is quick to point out, it seems to go right over his head that they're fighting hard because he's leading them, that they're only sticking in as much as they are because they're under the command of the legendary Ciaphas Cain and they don't want to be found wanting. This also applies to his skill as a combatant. Cain doesn't think his fighting skill.
Oh my god, you're a badass. Holy crap. Now that's a badass man.
Those are too much to brag about. Meanwhile, he's fought every single enemy the galaxy could possibly throw at him and come out on top. He's fought melee combat with Hive Tyrants, Orc War Bosses, and Chaos Space Marines. In his words, he was barely hanging on by the skin of his teeth and only won because of a lucky break or outside intervention. Even if he's completely right, take your average Commissar and throw him against a Hive Tyrant. Actually, no. Take your average Space Marine and have him face a Hive Tyrant. He's gonna be turned into Citadel brand Mephiston red paint. And yet Cain fought 2 and came out alive both times.
God damn! Wait. You're actually... this is a job that even a Marine would struggle with? And by struggle, I mean... probably lose at? And he came out and he's just a dude? What the hell?
Sure, the 2 Chaos Space Marines he fought were either wounded by heavy fighting, or Cain was just parrying until Jurgen can fry them with his Melta, but these were both Cornate Chaos Space Marines. And I can assure you, with hatred in my heart, Cornate Space Marines are very good in melee combat. And
yeah, that's their whole shtick. He went against 2 Space Marines under Khorne, and not only survived, but won? What is this man? Holy crap!
Cain's fought them twice and came out on top. If you only listen to what he says, he's an asshole who just keeps getting lucky. If you take into account everything that happens, he's one of the most competent people in the galaxy with a raging case of imposter syndrome. Though admittedly, he is still a self-centered coward. And of course, there's that old saying about courage being the ability to keep going even when there's more shit in your pants than there is fabric. I might be misquoting that. To talk about some other characters briefly, there's 3 I would like to touch.
That is such a good line. That is such a good line.
Bases on. First off, his trusty aide gunner Ferric Jurgen. Jurgen is a total badass. He's the single best man you can possibly have watching your back. He's good in a fistfight, and he's a peerless marksman. One time, in a short story all about himself, a group of traitors tried to have him killed to avoid being caught. Jurgen tricked them by arriving to where he came from a different method to how he got there, beat the shit out of several people, and then said that the only reason he ever found out there was treachery was because the quartermaster had accurate inventory reports, and no one ever has that unless they're trying to hide something. Jurgen's a very fun character to watch do his thing. He's also a psychic blink. They found this out when Amberly Vale's pet Psyker had a seizure when he walked near her. This has helped Cain survive encounters with everything from Tyranids to greater demons of Slaanesh.
Damn, that's impressive. Yes, there is fan art of it. No, I'm not helping you find it. Wait, what?
Greater Demon, or I guess Demon Princess is a better word for it, was also incredibly thirsty for Cain's chainsword, probably both literally and metaphorically.
Wait,
Or it was
wait,
also
I
the
missed
greater
something.
demons of Slaanesh. Said greater This has helped Cain survive encounters with everything from Tyranids to greater demons of Slaanesh. Said greater demon, or I guess Demon Princess is a better word for it, was also incredibly thirsty for Cain's chainsword, probably both literally and metaphorically.
Oh.
Jurgen also smells incredibly bad. Whether this is how his repulsiveness due to being a blank manifests, or he just smells like shit, is never clarified, but you don't want to
Yes.
be in an enclosed room with the guy. This is a minor plot point too, because Cain uses him as a human shield to keep people from bothering him. They need to get through the smelly wall that is Jurgen to speak to Cain, and that requires a level of fortitude most people simply do not have.
Look, I don't feel like I don't have time to deal with you right now. So go deal with Jurgen for a little bit. After you've worked with him for about, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour or so. Done all the initial paperwork, you can come find me afterwards. And 9 times out of 10, they're just like, no, I'm not good. I'm not good. 20 minutes in, we're gonna have to pick this up another time. I'm sorry. If you leave now, we're gonna have to restart all the paperwork. Sorry, but it's just how it is. Like, it's fine. I'm out.
For some final notes on the guy, he takes orders almost as literally as an Ogren. He assumes that because Cain is telling him to do something, there is a grand reason to be doing so, and he does whatever he's told to do without fault. He does most of Cain's paperwork as well, and carries his luggage, which he has no problems with. He's even been shown to be annoyed when he isn't allowed to do so, because in his eyes, he's Cain's assistant, and thus the only one truly qualified to do so. He not only fully buys into Cain's legend, but has never shown fear, because he just assumes whatever is happening is a part of Cain's master plan. Even with my defense of Cain earlier having been said, Jurgen could not be any more wrong, because most of what Cain does is by the seat of his pants. But it's nice to know someone has his back. And indeed, even after having served alongside the Mechanicus, the Guard's finest, and the Space Marines, he has said that there's no one he'd rather have watching his back than Gunner Jurgen. On one final note,
that is incredible. You need to have somebody in your corner that's willing to just, not just put up with your bullshit, but also, like, believe in your bullshit. Like, I'm not sure if you guys have seen, like, Epic the Musical, right? But part of the reason why so much bad shit happened in that story was because Odysseus's first mate there kept on, like, second guessing and, like, pushing against Odysseus over and over and over again. Like, hey, what do you mean we're going to go up to this up to that island? There's a god up there and they're dicks. Yeah, but we need to. If you do that, you're probably going to die. When is your luck going to run out? Blah, blah, blah. And then just yelling this sort of shit in front of his crew and, like, questioning every little thing he fucking does. And then when things don't go his way 100% and they lose a few people, he's like, oh, now you're terrible. See, I told you guys this is terrible. And that's why everything went to freaking shit. If they had just listened to Odysseus and actually just followed their captain, they probably would have all managed to get home alive. But no. So it's good that Ciaphas has Jurgen like this. Is Jurgen, right? Guys, look at me. Do I look like I have a memory? I'm sorry, but I don't. But it's great that he has somebody like him, because you need to have that trusty, useful person in your back pocket that just is there to work with your bullshit without question. A best friend through thick and thin.
Never get in a car with him or be on the road at the same time as him. To his credit, he's never once crashed anything he's driven, even something like an orc buggy. Unless crashing was the plan, of course. He also makes everyone riding with him nauseous and considers things like cafes, cemeteries, and imperial governor palaces to be minor obstacles to be plowed through to get to where he needs to be. And I don't think he understands the concept of a speed limit. The next character is, of course, Inquisitor Amberly Vale. Of the Ordo Xenos branch, she's very good at dealing with aliens and all that jazz. She's actually really friendly for an Inquisitor. Bit of a smartass, but she doesn't just waltz into places and scream heresy before murdering everyone, so she's got that going for her. She's got a whole gaggle of interesting people in her entourage, and she's recruited Cain to unofficially be a part of it. Both because he's Ciaphas Cain and a very capable man, and because Jurgen is a blank, and that's a very handy thing for an Inquisitor to have in her back pocket. Her pet psyker I mentioned also apparently has the biggest tits in the galaxy. Normally, I'd like to think I wouldn't bring something like that up, but Cain will not stop mentioning it whenever she's around.
God damn it! Ah, so he's also the pervert of the universe. Gotcha.
Usually how it goes is Cain mentions he's afraid of the Psyker because she is a bit of a loon, and then he stares at her tits. To get back to Amberly, her presence is in a good amount of the books as a character, but every novel except the short stories are edited by her, so you're never going long without her input. Honestly, the series wouldn't be the same without her. Her orders are oftentimes what gets Cain into his misadventures, and Cain certainly wouldn't want her gone because even with all the danger she puts him in, she's a good friend to him, and that's always nice. By good friend, I of course mean they fuck like rabbits whenever they have the chance.
Of course. Look. At any moment, shit can hit the fan and you can die. You might as well enjoy yourself while you can.
She has ended his memoirs early because what they most likely ended with was Cain talking about Amberly showing him her inquisitorial rosette, if you catch my drift. It is canonical that Ciaphas Cain fucks. She's also constantly giving us additional information about Cain's adventures where he leaves gaps in the narrative, because Cain doesn't really give a shit about the larger picture if it isn't directly affecting him. Oh, and she's still an Inquisitor. If you piss her off, you are going to be unpersoned. But as far as Inquisitors go, she's about the best person you can hope to be in that profession. She doesn't just kill you because you're annoying, she'll kill you because you're hampering inquisitorial duties. I never said she was a good person, just good by the standards of people who blow up planets as part of their day job.
The bar is literally in the dirt at this point. There is no official art of her. I believe so. I decided she looks like this for reasons. Probably. Yeah, that makes sense. Cain says she has the face of a horse, and I choose to believe he's simply being an unreliable narrator for the sake of my erection. Sure. Go ahead.
Lastly, Janet Sola. There are undoubtedly other characters who I could talk about more instead of her, but to be honest with you, I like her the most out of all the side characters. She's steadfast, a brilliant tactician, and all around an effective commander in the Guard. She can make the most out of what she has to work with, leads from the front, and is the exact kind of person the Guard wants in charge of its forces. As you might expect, Cain can't stand her. As far as he's concerned, she's an overconfident idiot whose balls are bigger than her brain. And every time he has to interact with her, he's afraid of what crap she's gonna pull him into next. Even the overall commanders of the Valhalla in 597 think she's a bit crazy. And yet repeatedly in Amberly's additions to Cain's writings, we see her giving her own memoirs of events of the story. And every single time, you get to see them addressed to her as General Janet Sola, because Janet Sola kicks more ass than any of us ever will. Cain, in his more than understandable cowardice, doesn't really appreciate that her headstrong behavior is sometimes the perfect choice for the job. And after Cain retires, she apparently rose through the ranks to become a general who won many, many campaigns. Just like I said earlier, it was Cain who Sola would attempt to emulate in her own campaigns, always asking herself what he would do in a situation if it looked grim or confusing. I adore every bit of the novel she's in. And as a final note, she probably had a bit of a crush on Cain, because you can only read so many paragraphs of her saying how great he is before you start to wonder if there was something going on there. Amberly...
I feel like I'm starting to see a bit of a pattern with the females around him. What is this? Some sort of Isekai harem anime? Oh my goodness.
even points that out, so I'm not just pulling a Tumblr on this one. They're two characters who breathed in the same room once. To round us off, there's one story I want to give about Cain that I really like, just so you know how badass these books can be. It's from the latest full novel, Choose Your Enemies, so here more than anywhere else, there be spoilers ahead. Cain was helping the 597th hold off an Eldar invasion of a world that was once a maiden world, and they kinda wanted it back. During this time, he finds a Slaaneshi cult entirely by accident, but gets saved not only by Amberly, who also ended up there by accident after she got lost in the webway, but a bunch of Eldar Farseers and Warlocks as well, who had been hunting the cult. Cain later on shifts from focusing on the Eldar to searching for the cult's main base to eliminate them, entirely because Amberly wasn't going to look a gift horse in the mouth and made him help her. Valuing both his sex life as well as his life, Cain agrees. At the climax of that book...
Look, I'm going to help you for a couple reasons. Oh, what are those? 1, dead ass. 2, if I don't, we're all dead. So, I'll help you out.
I chose that word very specifically. Cain finds out that the cult was summoning a demon of Slaanesh at the spaceborne palace of the Imperial Governor of the planet. The demon princess summoned, as it turns out, was the same one who wanted his nuts. He had fought her
Oh my
once
God.
before since she became a demon, so by this point Cain fought her more times than the number of campaigns the average guardsman can expect to make it through. This time though, she starts chowing down on Eldar's soulstone, so even Jurgen's presence and that of another Inquisitor with an anti-demon staff aren't enough. So Amberly makes a few phone calls, and the battle between the Eldar fleet and the defensive space station stops. Soon enough, an Eldar ship blasts a hole in the wall so its forces can arrive to help fight the demon. Cain initially panics about this, but calms himself solely to look cool in front of Amberly, which is just the cutest thing, isn't it? As for the Eldar, well, have you ever played Titanfall and dropped your Titan on an enemy's and crushed it? 1, that's the most
Nope, I don't, but I understand what you're talking about.
boner-inducing thing that's ever happened to me in a game. 2, the Eldar must have done so too, because aside from some jet bikes taking pot shots, all they sent was a single being to fight the demon. And then, as Cain watches what he thought was a jet bike pilot get larger and larger in his field of view, an avatar of Cain lands on top of the demon princess like an ODST. There's nothing you can do to convince me that Welcome to the Jungle wasn't playing in the background of this fight. And for
We are sending our greatest weapon against this threat. Oh, are you going to drop like a juggernaut or a walker or something like that? No, we're dropping an avatar of you. Wait, what?
For once, oh sweet Assyrian, for once in all of Games Workshop's recent writings, did an avatar of Cain finally get a win, and he sent the demon right back to hell. With some help, I admit, but I will take what I can get from Cain with a K by this point. Also, Cain and Cain.
Oh, is this a different Cain? This is a different Cain.
Funny, isn't it? And thus ends my telling of Ciaphas Cain, hero of the Imperium. Of course, I ended the story with Eldar simping. It's the first video of the year, I gotta start the year off right. But I do hope you'll read these books properly, not just listen to this video. There's a lot more stuff he gets up to, after all. There's a small portion of the Guard that worships Cain as a prophet of the Emperor. That book in particular, The Traitor's Hand if I recall correctly, was probably my favorite of the Cain books. Unrelated, but my apologies if my voice is sounding even more dead than usual. Kinda lost it during New Year's Eve. But I didn't wake up with a hangover, so I call it a win. Seriously though, please read these books. There's such a breath of fresh air from the usual 40k lore affair, that being everything.
It really sounds like it. Like, this just sounds like a weird little, like, action comedy series, if anything. Like, like, an original, like, a mix between 007 and Austin Powers, where you have a bit of the seriousness of Austin Powers, obviously. Or, not Austin Powers. There's no serious there. Where you have the seriousness of 007, but you're sprinkling in just the campiness and goofishness of Austin Powers. Just a little bit of that sprinkled in there.
Sucks, things are bad, I know how to do nothing but complain. Thank you, of course, to my channel members. You are the Jurgen to my Cain, keeping me going on all my misadventures to come. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to subscribe or become...
And everybody, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you go give Pancreas no work. I subscribed halfway through this video. Not sure if you saw that, but I'm doing that, and I'm going to like this video. This was fantastic. Ciaphas Cain, you're one of my favorite characters. I don't know a lot of characters in Warhammer 40k, but goddamn, you're already at the top of them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Hey, did you enjoy that? Was it funny? Well, come and check it out live over on twitch.tv/freeform_art. Make sure you put the _art. We have lots of fun there. We enjoy ourselves, and we want to see you over there. So come on and hang out. See you in a bit.